sponsorisé ce soir, M. Cleland. J'aimerais prendre l'occasion pour souligner ses accomplissements qui sont nombreux. Mais depuis qu'il a déménagé à Fredericton en 1990, Cleland a joué des tournois au niveau provincial, régional, national et international avec d'excellents résultats. Au niveau des championnats provinciaux du Nouveau-Brunswick, Cleland a été victorieux en simple et en double. Il fut également classé 39e au Canada en 1992. Dans la catégorie main 35 et plus, Cleland fut le premier joueur du Nouveau-Brunswick à représenter le Canada dans les catégories 35 et plus à la Coupe Italia en 2000 et le fut également en 2001. En plus de tout cela, Cleland a été classé 54e joueur au monde en 2000 dans cette même catégorie de mètres 35 et plus. En 1999, il fut nommé la première tête de série aux championnats nationaux des hommes 35 et plus et finit l'année classé numéro 5 au Canada. En 2005, il fut victorieux au championnat canadien des maîtres de l'Ouest canadien en simple et se rendant en finale en double. Well done, Glenn. Congratulations.
Hard acts to follow, I must admit. I mean, congratulations to Peter Cameron. As I was mentioning to him individually, one of my heroes is a gentleman by the name of Randy Snow, who Peter actually has played. And Randy Snow, to give you some background, he won 10 years in a row the U.S. Wheelchair Championships. And the reason I got to know Randy Snow is always looking for advantage in tennis. You should read some of his books, Nick, on psychology. He's very, very good. This guy won 10 years in a row, and he was tough. Peter could probably give you some good stories. Congratulations to Dave being inducted. He's sort of the father of the new tennis facility. You folks will get to see it, I guess, this weekend. I must admit, having suffered withdrawal from 10 years, not playing tennis this last winter was just amazing. Great facility, great on the lake. So thank you very much, sir, and thank you to the team. Perseverance is a big thing there. I gave up a long time ago that we'd ever get an indoor facility. And Paul and I have dueled on the tennis court, I guess, for 20 plus years. Most recently in the doubles side. Well-deserved. Congratulations, Paul. I've got to thank Roger Duval. Roger actually nominated me for this position. Now, Roger, if you don't know, very accomplished tennis player in his own right. He played professional tennis back in California back in the late 70s. We've been playing 10 plus years. Not only do I enjoy playing tennis with him, but always picking his brain on leadership side, being Assistant Deputy Minister of Culture, Wellness, and Sport here at the province, but also on the relationship side. Both he and his wife, they corrected me, I thought it was only 30 years, 34 years, they'd been married, brought up their child successfully. They've conquered Kilimanjaro, they've conquered Machu Picchu, I guess last year was the Everest Base Camp, and now they've got their biggest challenge ever, running around to see if they can catch Soleil. So thank you and congratulations. I'm excited that I convinced the clan, the Lynch O'Donnell clan, to come, and they'll find out in a second why. I got to know them. They're in the back table. Why don't you wave for a sec? I got to know them when I was trying to get them into the Canada Summer Games, of which did we mention? So Nick's going to the Canada Summer Games, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. And are you going to the Canada Summer Games? So good luck on that, incidentally. I was trying to get Robert in Canada Summer Games. Sorry we didn't quite make it there, buddy. But Robert had some great wins, of which one was over local legend Pierre Gallant, okay, who will be inducted, I assume, in this Hall of Fame soon enough. Good sport here is Kathy Lynch, whose birthday is today. Oh, the cat's out of the bag. Sorry about that. So happy birthday, and thanks for coming along. What satisfies me most about this accomplishment from my point of view is the last 20 years I've only averaged about 3 or 4 tournaments a year, but I was able to actually keep up my competitive level of play. What was I doing in the meantime? Well, I was basically creating New Brunswick Investment Management Corporation. This is the multi-billion-dollar corporation that looks after pension plans for, let's see, public service, teachers, and judges. This is your pension plan there, buddy. Okay? But also creating an international award-winning student investment fund at the university while trying to maintain a strong relationship with my wife and staying connected with my daughter. So work hard, play hard is my motto to my students at the back. Now, hopefully I piqued your interest with this hat, because I want to dedicate this award to my grandfather, who 30 years ago that I lived with in Sydney, Australia. Now, what I was going to do and I don't know if this is going to work or not, is I was actually going to borrow Camille's chair here. I'm going to bring a chair over here for a second. Now, I lived in Sydney, Australia in 1983-84 with my grandfather. And my grandfather at the time was 83 years old. He lived on his own because my grandmother had passed away 5 years previously. There we are. And I quickly learned out why he was able to live on his own 5 years without my grandmother, his wife. And that's because he was incredibly disciplined. So every day what I saw was he got up at 6:30 every morning, he showered, he shaved, kid you not, he put in his teeth. That always freaked me out. Then what he did was he read the newspaper, he had breakfast, then what he did was he put his suit on, and he always knew his day started once he put his hat on. Now he's 83 years old, and his day consisted of going downtown and either meeting his business buddies, having lunch downtown, or he'd go to the church. He was on the board of elders for some 50 years, or counseling one of his 4 other siblings, as he had to look after him because his dad passed away at the age of 12 and basically had to grow up pretty fast. So what was interesting is I got to live with this gentleman for 9 months, 30 years ago now. It's almost the day. And I learned a lot in those 9 months that I lived with him. But what I remember most vividly is what he used to always do is at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, this is Sydney, Australia, so you can imagine how hot it is, the shade started coming on the driveway. And what he used to always do is, and he was still in his suit and tie, and with his hat on, he'd basically sit down in the chair, and basically, hopefully you can see me back there, as he would watch the world go by. Now this time, I was playing tennis at the Vic Edwards Tennis Academy. For those people who don't know Vic Edwards, he was the tennis legend who coached such people as Yvonne Gouldong and John Newcomb. And I had a shitty day. Basically got my ass kicked, and so I came back, and I was just complaining, bitching to my grandpa. And I'll never forget his words of wisdom. He said, you know what? In my 83 years of life, okay, I discovered the secret, and that is you need to be happy. But you need 3 things to be happy. The first thing is you got to love what you're doing. The second, you need someone to love, okay, and share your life with. And the third thing is you need something to dream. Now, Glenn, I've been basically an accountant all my life. Okay, I've reached the pinnacle, being managing director of Deloitte & Touche. I was basically 4 years president of the Australian Accounting Association. I was one of the founding members of the International Accounting Standards Board. I had a great career. I loved it. My grandmother and I, we were married 50 plus years. I miss her tremendously, but she was my soulmate. And my dream was to travel the world. I can safely say, sitting in front of you, I've gone to every place that I've ever wanted to. I've seen everything I wanted to. And so I am happy. And that word of wisdom, it's always been instilled in me. And I can safely say, standing in front of you right now, I am happy. I am teaching the course that I created at the university. There's 2 students are in the course, or one's taking my picture of me. 4 students, Marks or something like that. But it's very satisfying, because this course, we were the first of our kind in the Atlantic region. There's $6 million of real money that these students get to invest. We're number 2 in Canada. And the way we set it up, quite frankly, we're one of a kind internationally. Now, the 2 students with me, so I got Keegan Marcus, who, captain of the soccer team, is taking the pictures right now. We've got Nathan Monroe in the back corner. He was basically Canada's Summer Games of the volleyball teams. Both 2 accomplished athletes. But I have to be honest, what I discovered is I discovered the fountain of youth. And the energy and the enthusiasm of these 2 gentlemen, it's inspired me to keep me young. So I'm doing what I like doing, okay? Second thing, I didn't know what a soulmate was, okay, until I met Susan Boyce. Now, if you haven't already heard, Susan and I just came back from Asia. Okay, we celebrated our 10th anniversary. We got our vows renewed in the Buddhist temple. That's a story in itself. But I mean, it was an amazing experience of a lifetime. So far, here. I can actually have tattooed on my arm, "Happy wife, happy life," just to remind myself how important she is. But the last part is the dream, and the dream is that I'd love to represent Canada internationally again. I mean, it was by far my best experience. Okay, it was nice to know that I could actually keep up with people on the international stage. What's fun is I take a look at 2 people who are always at the nationals. It's really like it's the socialization side of the sport that's amazing. Because I've gone to the nationals the last 13 to 16 years. You folks are now coming up to the 10th year going to the nationals. It's like a high school reunion where you're competing with everybody to try to get on that international stage. Now, in the spirit of my grandfather, my real goal here, and here's the challenge for you, Roger, is my grandpa played until he was in his 80s. Okay? Last year, we had 12 people play the over 80s, 5 played the over 85s. All that sloganeering is true. This sport really is for a lifetime. Okay, so in quick summary, sorry, I hope I didn't put you to sleep. Okay, so I'm basically meeting my grandpa's happiness equation. Tennis is a very important part of that. So I appreciate the award, and this is for you, Grandpa.